Hi there. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to do a Sephora speed review. This is the first of a three-part series. Today I'm going to be doing base products that I have reviewed recently and gone into great detail and description and tried on for you. So today is the base products. Next I will do cheeks, lips, and then lastly, I will do a speed review of all the eye products that I have tried recently. So I've used all of these at least 3 times so that I could really get my opinion in my head. But as you can probably see, I did take some notes because I'm still kind of a beginner, so bear with me. I'm going to let you know if I like it, if I'm going to keep it in my collection, if I would repurchase it, and if not, who I do think it would be good for, if anyone. I am 53, I have normal skin. My main concern is just fine lines and wrinkles. My fragrance of the day, with all these Sephora hauls, I got these little samples and it's Chanel Gabrielle. That's what I'm wearing today. On my eyes today, I am wearing the latest Pat McGrath Mothership palette. I did just a simple look with this palette today. The first category that we're going to go into is eyeshadow primers. This is a repurchase for me. It's the Urban Decay Primer Potion. It had been a while since I had used it, so I wanted to try it again a few times and compare it to some different primers. So this comes in 4 shades. I have the translucent one. It does have a doe foot applicator, just like this. And it claims to be crease free for 24 hours. As far as my thoughts, I apply this with the doe foot onto my eyes and then I blend it out with my fingers. It does dry quickly. It helps my eyeshadow to go on pretty smoothly. So I feel like this would be effective for anyone who has issues with creasing in their eyeshadow during the day, or maybe someone with very mild texture on their lids. They want to smooth it out maybe for a really glittery look. And I noticed that this does not cover any redness or other discoloration on the lids. It is pretty translucent. So I think this would just be a good everyday eye primer for basic daily looks, like the office job 9 to 5 type thing. The Pat McGrath Intensifies Long Wearing Primer is next. So this is also translucent. It claims to reduce creasing, extend wear, and blur the texture of the lids. So I decided to use the Pat McGrath palette since I'm using the Pat McGrath eyeshadow primer, because you would think that mother would create them to work together pretty well. To me, this is a really thin texture. I used it incorrectly the first time, but when you use it according to the directions, which is to blend with your fingers, it does blend out easily. Again, this is translucent. It's not going to cover the redness. I did not really notice anything significant when I wore this with different eyeshadow palettes. I would not purchase this again because I just did not see a big difference using it or not using it. So if you guys have tried it and you know of any other ways to use it or you've enjoyed it, please share those comments with us. The last eyeshadow primer I have is the Makeup by Mario Master Eye Prep and Set. So with these you get 2 shades of primer and 1 translucent powder. I think that this is the best deal as far as money wise. It's $30. It comes in 3 different shades and I got the lightest shade. So this formula is a little bit thicker, and because it is, and it's a little bit more opaque, it did color the discoloration that I have, which is not severe, but I have some on my upper lid. So my shadow also lasted really well with this. I used today the lighter primer and then the translucent powder to set that on my upper eyelids. I think most of us would really enjoy this product. I think that it's underrated. I'm certainly going to add this to my collection. and I would wear this when I really wanted a long day out of a more glamorous look to really get that eyeshadow to fix and stay. The next category, the second one, is makeup primer. And the first makeup primer that I reviewed is the Milk Hydro Grip Makeup Primer. This comes in mini and regular sizes, so you can try it out first. It is a clear gel. It claims to grip your makeup and hydrate for up to 12 hours. And I was not a huge fan of the e.l.f. Power Grip in this similar color. To me, that felt a little sticky for me. This is not as sticky and goopy, so if that was a problem for you, you may like this as well. This felt comfortable after I applied it, and it sank into my skin, and my makeup applied very evenly and smoothly over it. No problems with pilling or patching or anything, and my makeup lasted all day, and I tried this with different foundations. I think that people who have normal, oily combo skin would really enjoy this. It claims to be hydrating, so if you have dry skin, sound off in the comments and let us know whether this works for you as well. I enjoy this a lot, and I am going to add this to my collection. The next primer is also a Milk product. This is the Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. Sorry, I've got an itch. This also comes in a mini and a regular tube. The claims here are that it reduces the appearance of pores, smooths texture, and reduces shine. It has a really kind of bitter, weird herbal scent. I know it does have some herbs in it. I'm just not sure which one causes it. It goes away right after application. I use this today in my T-zone only. I don't have a lot of enlarged pores or tons of texture, and so I just want something that's just a little smoothing, and I feel like this does that. This also claims to be mattifying, and so since I have pretty normal skin, I don't really notice shine coming through during the day. So I think that this would be really good, again, for people who want a matte look for the day, or people who are oily or combo. The last product that I reviewed as a primer is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops Serum. I had this before and I used it as skincare, and I got this as a gift in November. It's just a mini size. It smells amazing. If you love a watermelon scent, you're gonna like this a lot. It is very hydrating, and when I used this as a primer, all of my makeup looked really good on top of it, and I had a natural glow. I think people with dry skin would particularly love this, but I think everyone can use it. I prefer to use this as skincare like I was doing before, and that's what I did today. I used a spray that I'll show you a little later on, and then I used this as my serum, and then I used my moisturizer with sunscreen. Pardon me, my nose is itching today. So I'm going to use this as skincare to get my niacinamide. I will be keeping this in my collection. Our category 3 is under eye correctors. The first product I tried is the Natasha Denona High Glam Serum Color Corrector. This comes in 6 shades. My shade is light. It has a natural finish and medium coverage. So I felt like my under eyes actually looked their best with this product. It is creamy and it blends easily, but it's not too thick. My concealers that I tried played very nicely with this. I feel like anybody can use this particular corrector. I think especially if you have aging eyes or if you have discoloration, this would be really good to pair with your concealer because it's not going to look thick under there. I'm going to add this to my collection, and I will gladly repurchase when this is done. Secondly, I got the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Under Eye Corrector. This comes in 5 shades. My shade is Pomelo Peach. A few months ago, I purchased the Huda Beauty Concealer, and I loved it. So I wanted to try this as well. So I've enjoyed this a lot. It has a natural finish, medium coverage, and it claims to be crease set and transfer proof. So with this product, you only need a little bit. Huda says 3 tiny dots under each eye is all you need, because this is a pretty opaque product. So I did just use a little bit. I use this not only with the Huda Beauty Concealer, but with other concealers. It worked really well. And so I feel the way about this that I do about the Huda Concealer. I like it. I think that the opaque coverage would be really good for people who do have darker circles under their eyes. And I'm adding this to my collection. I will repurchase. The last product in the corrector category is the Smashbox and Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This comes in a pot. It is full coverage with a radiant finish, and you can kind of see the radiance in there. The first time I used this, I used too much. I also used a brush, and the directions clearly say that you should use your fingers. You put some on your finger, you rub your fingers together, and then you apply it. So when I applied it correctly, it did apply better. However, the radiant finish is not really very flattering for my under eyes. I used it today, and I just feel like it's a little bit patchy. It's difficult to blend on my under eyes, and I don't feel like it corrects because of the radiant finish. So I think this would be really nice for our younger girls who don't have a lot of wrinkles, not a lot of dark circles, not a lot of texture. Maybe they just want to use this, some blush and go. I think that this product is more geared for them. I am going to keep this in my collection and try to find other ways that I can use this product. And I know a lot of people love it. This is the OG corrector, and so I kind of compared it to other correctors. We're going to move to the category 4, which is my foundations. And the first foundation that I reviewed is the Fenty Ease Drops Blurring Skin Tint. This comes in 25 shades, which is a lot for a skin tint. It says that it has light to medium buildable coverage, a natural finish. My shade is shade 6 Light, which is for light to medium skin with cool undertones. What I like about this is that it has a plastic tube and a squeezy bottle, and I feel like this would be really great for traveling. It's not going to get broken, and so I really like the packaging on this. And this, it goes over my complexion, over all of my primers really, really well. I think because I'm more used to a medium coverage, I tend to kind of compare this to a medium coverage foundation. I have to remind myself that this is a skin tint. And so I think for me, I'm going to be using this on the no makeup days when I just want just a little something and out the door, and I don't want a really perfected look. Definitely, I'm glad I purchased this. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to add to my collection. My very favorite foundation that I tried in this whole haul was the KVD Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation. So I thought, for my age, this is just not going to work. But Martina Lily here on YouTube, she recommended this foundation. She is like 15 years younger than me, but I still wanted to try it because her skin just looked beautiful. So this packaging is so luxurious to me. I just could use this as a little bit of decor. Seriously, it's so pretty. It has 40 shades. My shade is medium 48, which is a medium with cool undertones. This has a natural finish and full coverage. It's lightweight, and it is a serum. I loved the way this made my skin look. When you first rub it out onto your hand, it is so thin. I demoed this in my video. It's so thin, and you're like, how can something so thin be full coverage? I don't know what's in this. I love it. This is my top 3 foundations, I think. So the coverage, like I said, it's full coverage. It's amazing. I am not sure how our dry skin friends will like this, even though it is a serum. So if you all have used this, please share with the rest of us how you feel about it. But for my normal skin, it looked great, and I also think it would look fantastic on combo and oily skin. I'm definitely keeping and adding to my collection, and I would recommend this. Lastly, we have the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation. This comes in 32 shades. I combine shades light 4 and medium 4 for my perfect color. This is a natural finish with medium coverage. With Glossier, we're used to, like, do you have makeup on? Do you not have makeup on? That's kind of their thing. But this is actually a medium coverage foundation. It's legit. And I really enjoy this. This is my favorite coverage, natural finish, medium coverage. This is right in my wheelhouse for my skin. The undertones are very flattering for my cooler skin, if that helps at all any of my cooler girls. And so I feel like this is a good workhorse foundation, an everyday foundation. If you're a girl who just needs an everyday staple foundation, it's going to do its job. It's going to last all day. It's going to be flattering on your skin. I think the Glossier is a really, really great purchase for you. So our next category, category 5, is concealers. Let's go ahead and get the Natasha Denona concealer out of the way. So I loved the under eye corrector. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Medium to Full Coverage Serum Concealer. And this is my favorite concealer that I've tried all year. So this comes in 50 shades. There is no other concealer that comes in 50 shades. Thank you, Natasha, for being inclusive. My shade is R5 Medium Rosy. This concealer has a natural finish, although in the name it says full coverage serum concealer. When you look at the description, it says medium coverage. It claims to be long lasting and creaseless. This concealer actually makes my under eyes look less wrinkly. I kept looking at my eyeballs all throughout the day, and I kept thinking they just keep looking better. I don't know what she did with this, but for those of us with mature under eyes, I feel like this is the perfect concealer for us. So I'm going to repurchase this over and over and over and over. Anyone can use this concealer. I love it. Next is a very, very close second, and that is the Tower 28 Hydrating Serum Concealer. This got a lot of hype this year. Several people have said this is their favorite concealer of the year, and I can see why. It comes in 20 shades. My shade is 6.0 IE, which is medium with light neutral undertones. This claims to be hydrating, soothing, calming, weightless, has a skin-like finish. That's what drew me in. So this is a creamy concealer, but it's not goopy and thick. It feels nourishing and hydrating under the eyes. I feel like this is a universal concealer. This concealer will work on anyone. The consistency is similar to the Natasha Denona, and there is just that one little something something in the Natasha Denona that just beat this out just by the littlest bit. But again, this is one that I'm going to continue to repurchase. This is an everyday concealer, workhorse. You'll enjoy having this in your collection. My nose, why am I itchy? The last concealer that I have to review is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. This comes in 31 shades. Mine is 22 light medium, which is peach undertones. And I chose the peach undertones because in the light medium they didn't have cool undertones, and I thought on my busy days I could use this as a corrector and concealer under my eyes. So the claims on this are that it's long wearing, blurring, brightening. The consistency is a little creamier, a little bit thicker than the other two concealers. The coverage is what stands out to me on this one. This is really, really good coverage. I think all of us can use this one. I purchased the House Labs foundation earlier this year and absolutely loved it. I could not wait to try this concealer. I was not disappointed. We're adding this to the collection and we would repurchase. So our sixth category is setting powders. The first setting powder that I tried is the LYS Triple Fix Setting Powder. So this is a translucent pressed powder. It blurs, absorbs oil, and locks in your complexion. This is not a concealer that I think you would want to bake with. It's just so thin. And I think that this is very similar to the Kosas Cloud Set powder. So I've been looking at this one for a while. Andrea Matiliano uses this. So I wanted to use all of my powders today so that I could tell you guys just a few minutes after using what I thought. Today I chose to use this under my eyes to set my concealer. And it's so thin that you kind of look and you're like, did any powder get on my eyes? But it did, and your eyes are set all day. So I really enjoy this powder. You can use it all over the face if you just want light powder. That's fine. I'm going to be using this a lot under my eyes just because of the consistency of the powder. Next is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Setting Powder. This compact is very heavy. It's very luxurious. It comes with a mirror, and then another part of the compact here carries a little powder puff, so it's really good for on-the-go touch-ups in my opinion. This is what the powder looks like. It comes in 8 shades. Mine is Cherry Blossom Cake. That is fair to medium with pink undertones. This has a natural finish, medium coverage, so not ideal in my opinion for under the eyes. And a lot of people compared this to the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. And I chose to compare it to other pressed powders because that's how it's formulated. I feel like this is a great brightening setting powder. So today I use this all throughout my T-zone where I want my face to be a little bit brighter. And it has a little more oomph to it. And so I feel like these areas where people would get a little more oily, I feel like it would be really good for the T-zone, especially this pinker shade. So I'm glad that I have this one. I will be adding this to my collection, and I would repurchase this. Yes, I would. The last powder is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. This comes in 5 shades. And mine is light medium. It has light coverage with a radiant finish. So people were a little bit confused about this product when it first came out. It came out with another product similar to it. So I discovered that this is a 3-in-1 powder. It bronzes, highlights, and finishes. So it's a multitasker. So today I use this on the perimeter of my face as a glowy bronzed look, and that's the way I'm going to continue to use this in the future. When you look in the pan here, if I can get it open, you can see that there's a gradient here. It goes from light to dark, so you can kind of dip into these powders, but it's a radiant finish, and most people do not want radiant through here or radiant under their eyes, and so that's why I'm going to use this as a perimeter. People who will enjoy this, I think people who don't want to fuss with a lot of different products. You want to glow, you want to bronze, and you want to set. And you can just swipe this on and go. I think people like that will really enjoy this. I'm going to add this to my collection. I'm not going to repurchase because I really enjoy using specific products. One category to go, and that is setting sprays. The first setting spray that I tried is the Milk Hydro Grip Dewy Long-Lasting Setting Spray. This also comes in a medium and or a mini and regular size. This is water-based with a radiant finish. The claim is that your skin stays glowy for 12 hours. So If you don't want to be matte, this would be your finishing or your spray. So the sprayer has a super micro fine mist. It feels really refreshing when you spray this on your face. So I used this after all of my makeup was done, and while it was still partially moist, I used a blender and I patted it in, and I felt like it just made the bronzer, the blush, the highlighter, all of my face products just meld into each other. So I thought my makeup looked seamless when I used this. It did not feel like hairspray on my face. I can't stand that feeling. So I think particularly people with normal to dry skin will enjoy this since it has a radiant finish. And I think I could put this like the mini in my purse and carry it around through the day when my face just needs a little spruce up. Next is the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Setting Spray. This is alcohol free. It does have a matte finish. So if you're going for that matte look, this is the setting spray that you're going to want to use at the end. This definitely locked in my makeup. Throughout the day, sometimes I sweat and I kind of blot a little bit with a paper towel. When I did that after using this setting spray, I look at the paper towel and hardly any makeup would come off on the paper towel. So it does work, it's effective. So I felt like this was less hydrating, which is natural when you've got a matte setting spray, but it was not uncomfortable by any means. I feel like this would be ideal for normal, combo, and oily skin. And I definitely am going to be able to make use of this in the Florida humid summers. The last spray that I got was the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. This is a clear daily spray. It's actually a skin product, not a setting spray. So they recommend that you use this after being in the sun, after a workout, your face is all red, for blemishes or skin irritations. This kind of refreshes and soothes the skin. So today, instead of using this as a setting spray, I did use this right after getting out of the shower. And then I went in with my Glow Recipe Dew Drops and then my moisturizer and SPF. So that's what this is intended for. When I did use this as a setting spray, it did not extend the life of my makeup, but again, I was able to pat in with my beauty blender and my makeup looked really cohesive with this. The way I plan to use this is I'm going to keep it in my fridge, and on those days where my skin is irritated for whatever reason, I'm going to spritz this on. The sprayer is powerful. So I'm going to put this on my bare face, and I want to try the lotion, the SOS lotion as well. So this is the end of my first speed review. Next review is going to be lips and cheeks, so stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for joining me today. Have a good day.